Mommy's making a video. Okay. Oh, okay. But can you let mommy? Mommy has to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Please, wait me.
Okay. It looks like today I'm gonna have my little helper with me. This is Brielle. Say hi, everyone.
Brielle, baby shark. Very good.
I didn't forget nothing. Okay, so let's keep going. Hi there. Welcome to my homeowner series. I'm so glad that you're here for episode 3. I started my homeowner series to celebrate my 4-year anniversary being homeowners with my husband. And today is episode 3, where I'm going to be talking about all the small renovations and upgrades that we did when we bought our home. If you've been following along, then you know that in the first 2 episodes, I talked about the process of how we bought our property. And last week, I talked about everything that we went through and our experience as first-time homeowners, our first year in a new house, especially with a new baby. If you haven't seen those yet, then make sure to watch them after this video. If you don't know already, my name is Gabby Magsino. I'm your mom, friend, and real estate here in the New Jersey suburbs. And my goal for this channel is to be your #1 resource when it comes to all things moving and real estate in Somerset County and surrounding areas. So let's get right into it. What's funny is that what we prioritize in our new home are exactly all the things that I would recommend my sellers to do when it comes to upgrading their home for sale so that they can attract as many buyers as possible, including upgrading light fixtures and making the home as light and bright as possible. These are small but very impactful details. So of course, we're not looking to sell our home, but these little updates that we did honestly made our home feel a lot more functional, bright, and inviting, which is what we're going for. If you've been watching me in my first couple of videos, you would know that we didn't really focus a lot on renovating our home. We focused on buying a lot more furniture that would make our house feel like our own. And we focused on just getting settled. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but we had our closing the same week we had Brielle 4 years ago. And she just had her 4th birthday on April 11th. Right. We honestly just focused on making sure that we were settled in and we got all the furniture that we need in our new house. There were a few renovations that we did do right away though. They weren't huge projects, but they were small upgrades that really made our house livable and comfortable. The first space we tackled really was the kitchen. It wasn't terrible and it was slightly upgraded already, but there were still changes that we wanted to make in order to make it feel more functional for us. One of the first things that we did, which me and my husband honestly went back and forth because he felt we didn't have the space, was adding a kitchen island in our home. Let me tell you, I think it's one of the best decisions we ever made because we were able to add extra counter space, especially when you're prepping for meals, and it just allowed us to have more space and cabinetry. Our house doesn't have a pantry. Not only are we able to store more things in the kitchen island, but we also have a more functional kitchen that allows us to easily prep meals. Our center island was from IKEA. And I remember, and I will show you the receipts, at the time in 2021, we bought it for $175. And today, I'm going to link it in the description below so that you can find it if you're looking for a cheap but functional kitchen island that could be just temporary. I looked it up recently for this video, and today you'll find it in the IKEA website for $320. That is clear inflation right there, but I'll link it in the description below if you're looking for a kitchen island. Next, we upgraded the appliances. We didn't do all of them all at once right away, but the fridge I definitely wanted to change because the fridge that came with the house was white and it was kind of dirty. We bought a fridge that I was super excited about, but then even though it fit the space, I didn't realize that it was too big, that if you opened the door on the right side, it was gonna hit the wall. So we actually had to return it and get another one. We still opted for stainless steel, but it just didn't have as many functions and it's smaller than the one that I really wanted. But it still works pretty well and looks better in this space. About a year later, we ended up buying all stainless steel appliances and upgrading them. But the first one we did was the fridge. And the home also didn't come with a washer and dryer in the basement, so we bought that and installed those as well. One of the most easiest and impactful upgrades that we did was the lighting. I knew that I wanted to do that right away because our home was built in the 50s. I think it's 1955. And for some weird reason, as a real estate agent, I even see this. Homes that were built in the 50s and 60s, some of them don't have light fixtures in the living room and the bedroom. And that's probably because they opted for, using lamps instead. But nowadays, everyone wants a good light fixture and everyone just wants a light and bright home, including me. So one of the first things we did was add recessed lighting in the living room. And we also added light fixtures in the 3 bedrooms on the first floor. I just personally feel that it looks a lot better with light fixtures, and light fixtures also make a huge difference as far as styling your rooms as well. So I'm glad that we tackled that right away. And lastly, my husband also wanted to add internet downstairs in the basement for his video games. It's funny though, because he plays video games upstairs, not here. But that was one of the things that we added as well, so that we have high-speed internet down here, which works because we currently have my office set up downstairs. Sometimes those little tweaks honestly make a huge difference for your family, because your family has your own needs. And even though a home can be fully renovated, there could still be little things that you want added or changed in order for it to feel more like yours. As I mentioned before, about a year later, we upgraded all the appliances in the kitchen, but I forgot that we also actually ended up having to change the butcher block in the kitchen and change it to quartz countertops. When I first saw the butcher block, I didn't hate it. I thought that looks nice. It gave the kitchen a natural feel. But after a few uses with the sink, we started to see almost mold-like around the sink area because of all the water that goes into it. And maybe it's us not maintaining it too well, because I think you're supposed to put some sort of varnish or something in the butcher block. But either way, with the amount of dishes that we have to clean up with the new baby and just our family having to save up and not spend a lot of money eating out now that we have our own home, I wanted to change it. I knew that we couldn't have that butcher block and keep that forever. So luckily my husband does have a countertop company that he used to work for. So we ended up getting a good deal and we changed it to quartz countertops. Ideally, I really would have liked to also change the butcher block of the kitchen island and have done some sort of waterfall quartz countertops on there as well. But I decided to kind of just step on the brakes on that and upgrade that later, especially because the cabinets that's on there are the IKEA cabinets. I wasn't sure if I wanted to just upgrade the whole kitchen as a whole one of these days or to leave it the way it is. So we just kept it the way it is for now, but definitely around the sink, we decided to change the countertops. I forgot to mention that I also wanted to tackle our living room space. I like the natural brick in our fireplace, but it was in really bad shape. So I decided that I was just gonna upgrade it and put a little paint on it. Of course, I used paint that's meant specifically for brick before anyone comes after me, but I ended up loving it. I ended up liking that it ended up making the space feel brighter. These little upgrades that we did in our home honestly made a huge difference, especially for us. And I personally feel, as a real estate agent, if the investors who flipped this home did and made the changes that we prioritized when we moved in, they would have had more offers on this house and they probably would have had a better return on their investment. Not to mention, the changes and upgrades that we did probably amounted to maybe a few $1,000s, in which they probably could have gotten more if they had done it themselves. But hey, I'm not complaining, because obviously that's how we got the property. And now, after making all these small changes, I already know that we added a lot of really nice upgrades into the home that added value to the house. I know for a fact that you would get a lot more eyes and more offers and more interest in the house because of these little upgrades that we decided to do ourselves. Everyone loves a good stainless steel appliance. Everyone wants a bright and light looking home, a home that they can envision themselves living into. Of course, everyone will end up having their own style and design and look that they want their home to feel. But when you're talking about generalizing a group of buyers who would most likely all be attracted to this house and will be able to envision themselves living in there, these upgrades that I prioritize in our home is what would attract the most buyers that will then lead to better offers in your home. So while I'm obviously talking about the upgrades that we did in our house, I honestly just gave a few good ideas if you are a seller looking to sell your home for the most amount of money. And if I was their listing agent, I would have added some staging pieces too and made the home a lot more homier than how they presented it and marketed it when they listed this home. But again, I'm not complaining because that's how we bought our house and that's how we found it and that's how we got the seller's concession that we asked for and did not have to compete too much for this house, especially during the peak of that COVID season when everything was just going over asking and every home was getting multiple offers. That's it for me today. I hope you found some good value in this episode and hopefully my daughter didn't kind of ruin my video too much. If you're a homeowner looking to just get some ideas of what you can do to make your home feel more like yours, then I hope this video helped you out. And even if you're a seller looking to sell their home to get the most amount of money and just the most amount of interest in your home, I hope some of the upgrades that I had mentioned today gives you a good idea of what a lot of buyers look for when they're looking for a home. Let me know in the comments if there are some upgrades in your own property that you have made that made your home feel more special and more yours. I'd love to hear them. If you enjoyed these series so far, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, click the thumbs up, and ring the notification bell. And before I go, if you are looking to move in New Jersey suburbs, especially in Somerset County or surrounding areas, I'd love to be the agent you choose to work with. So if you would like to schedule a meeting with me, I will add my Calendly link down below, and also my email will be there as well, so you can contact me directly. I would love to meet you, and I can't wait to see you soon. See you next week. Bye.